UEFA Cup, Anderlecht in white shirts took an overall lead against Hibernian after only 5 minutes. Luke Nilis, the scorer. The first leg had ended 2-2, precious away goals for the Belgians, so now Hibs could have only one tactical plan. It paid a dividend quite quickly, a goal from Darren Jackson on the quarter hour. But that's how it stayed, Anderlecht's goals in Edinburgh decisive. Rangers, in blue, went to Denmark with a 2-0 lead over Lungbu. Only the crossbar prevented Johnny Vilstrup from halving that advantage just after half-time. But then Rangers asserted themselves. In this remarkable attack, they had 3 quick stabs and hit everything but the net. Mark Hateley, foiled by the goalkeeper, Trevor Steven by Vilstrup, Ian Durant by the post. So it was shortly before the end when Hateley's offside position was ignored in favour of Durant's well-timed run and very cool finish. A 3-0 aggregate, only for Rangers then to be sucked into the whirlpool of the Leeds-Stuttgart controversy.
We would be pleased to play Leeds. I think it conjures up the old Scotland-England rivalry. It's always of great interest to people. You know, how would the Scottish champions play against the English champions? From what I've seen on television, it would be an extremely difficult match. They're playing very well at the present moment, and I think that's one of the best European results any British team's had for a long while, coming back from 3-0 down to 4-1 in their own ground. I thought that was a fabulous result for Leeds.
And the fact that they're equipped obviously with the Scottish players, Strachan and McAllister?
That just adds a little bit to the boys obviously happy coming back to their own country to play the game. But they've improved dramatically over the last 5 or 6 years, I think, along similar lines to Rangers, and that'll be, I think, a game to look forward to and a great match to be taking place at Ibrox.
The other half of the old firm, Celtic, cast off their misfortunes in marvellous fashion to earn a second-round tie against Borussia Dortmund. Their fight back from 2-0 down against Cologne was no less praiseworthy than Leeds against Stuttgart.
Shouts it on this time! It's a magnificent finish from Paul McStay, and Celtic are right back in the tie. Good running up front by Payton. Kept in well by Boyd. Payton has to stay off the field. Here's John Collins. The deflection! It's a goal for Celtic! Jerry Crady has scored a second. Good play by Collins. He's made it! It's a superb finish from John Collins. And the Celtic fans are delirious.
Celtic have a great tradition in Europe, so we haven't really had a run over the last few years, and European nights here.
Apollon Limassol, they're in blue, are no Chesterfield, though they did briefly lead Liverpool in Cyprus with a well-struck goal by the Croatian Milenko Spoljaric. Ian Rush soon put that in context by restoring the aggregate margin to 5. And once Don Hutchison had marked his European debut by making it 8-2 over the 2 games, Liverpool were feeling and looking better. Until Paul Stewart cruised into the area, crashed into the goalkeeper and stupidly poked out a hand. Christopher's dramatic fall was as unnecessary as it was unwelcome. Stewart had already forfeited his place against Moscow Spartak in the next round. Cardiff City made one mistake too many in Austria. Miskicking, compounded by mishandling, let Olaf Marshall score easily for Admira Wacker in the black and white strip. All the good work from a 1-1 draw in Wales thrown away. Unable to graft their way back, Cardiff admitted defeat. In the last minute, defenders offered only token resistance as Johan Abfalterer ran through to make the aggregate 3-1. No referendum needed to decide Europe's own goal of the round. Maribor Branik, they're in yellow and blue, was supposed to be defending, but Radkovic just couldn't resist the cross. And with Atletico Madrid 9-1 winners overall, why not?
Sporting Lisbon in the hoops were victims of the week's biggest UEFA Cup shock. Bobby Robson's team beaten 3-1 at home by Grasshoppers of Zurich. Robson's failings on the European front were a cloud that hung over him at Eindhoven, and when substitute Joe Magnin put the Swiss 2 up, Leo Beenhakker, an old adversary from World Cup days, sentenced Robson to another long, hard year. Jorge Cadete's striking leap at the far post brought a stay of execution, levelled the aggregate scores and forced extra time. But 10 minutes away from a penalty decider, the Brazilian Elber, who got Grasshoppers first, struck a devastating volley to make it 3-1 on the night. 4-3 the aggregate score to Beenhakker and co, and Robson's side missed a last-minute penalty, would you believe? Another British manager with a hard-luck story to tell, John Toshak, whose Real Sociedad in stripes set about a 3-goal deficit with gusto. Jose Lumbreras' deflected cross after just 6 minutes had opponents Vitoria Guimaraes backpedalling. And then Miguel Fuentes tucked away a second with 3/4 of the game still to go. But that was as good as it got for Tosh. The Portuguese held out. Real Madrid held to a 1-1 draw in Romania, polished off Politecnica Timisoara with 4 second-leg goals. The first, a cute header by Alfonso Perez. Daniel Fonseca of Napoli was at it again. 5 past Valencia in the first leg, another in the second after Carreca's shot was parried. The two South Americans seem to be getting on famously together. Roma put the finishing touches to a big win over Wacker Innsbruck, a touch of dead ball genius from Germany's Thomas Hessler. Back after knee trouble with his European Championship Speciality Act to complete a 5-1 aggregate win. Nothing you can do about those. Ajax eased past Salzburg with 2 goals from Sweden's Stefan Pettersson and this controlled volley from the outstanding Dennis Bergkamp. The holder's looking good as long as they can hang on to him.
White-shirted Marseille turned on the style against Glentoran. One French sports paper called this goal sumptuous. It ended with Jean-Christophe Thomas's cross and Abedi Pelle's acrobatics. 3-0 on the night, 8-0 on aggregate. In the Italian papers, Frank Rijkaard made the headlines. This goal for AC Milan in the stripes was part of a 3-0 win away to Olimpia Ljubljana. The Slovenians had already been beaten 4-0 in Italy. You'd have bet on FC Porto in blue and white striped shirts being too smart for Union Sportive, champions of Luxembourg. 4-1 from the first leg soon became 5-1. Emil Kostadinov, the scorer. If the visitors were already wondering why they bothered, they could only have been bewildered when Porto wore a different strip for the second half. Nothing changed the goalkeeper's luck though. That was Jose Carlos making it 5-0 in this game, 9-1 overall.
I guess tomorrow